All right, Yogatōn Friday, my favorite. This is what I do when I'm just working on my own, so it's fun to just be able to share it. All right, so let's come down to our mats. Today I have my tiny weights. These are 2 pounds, my medium 5 pounds, and my 10 pounds. And have my resistance band. I am down to my lightest resistance band because I broke the medium and the strong one. So I guess I'm stronger than I think. All right, come on down. Give yourself a little hug. We're going to kind of start with the Pilates sort of warm up today, rather than the sun salutations. And giving yourself a stretch. The Pilates 100s are how you warm up in a classic Pilates class, so they are considered a good warm-up exercise. All right, so you can do this without weights. That's how it, of course, is classically done in Pilates. But if you want, Yogatōn style, to add your teeniest weights, but go small. 1, 2 pounds, maximum 3 pounds. You're not going to be able to do it more than that. I don't care who you are. All right, so as always with the hundreds, you can modify it with feet planted on the floor. You can modify it with legs and tabletop, or you can take your full leg extension. Another option is to take, I've got my Pilates ball or a yoga block and put it in between your legs, because now you have to squeeze your legs, so it just adds another layer. You could do that in tabletop, and you could also do that on the mat. So you just decide. Remember, you want to keep that belly engaged. You want to make sure your back is flat on the mat. As soon as that comes off the mat, you want to adjust your legs. Lifting your head and chest, or your head and shoulders rather, off the mat. Lifting your arms, just shooting them straight out from your shoulders. Lower those legs to their most challenging position, and then begin to pump as you inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. So normally I say pump really vigorously. If you're not using weights, go ahead and pump vigorously. But if you're using weights, you'll find it's kind of hard to pump too vigorously. It just doesn't work that way. So you're breathing steadily in for a 5 count and steadily out for a 5 count. Eyes to thighs, chin to chest to protect your neck. And again, if that back starts to arch, if your belly starts to poof, modify your legs, tabletop or on the floor. Let's do 3 more. It's probably more than 100. It usually is with me because I talk so much. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good, release that down. All right, if you have a block or a couch pillow, like a cushion, a throw pillow, or even a regular pillow, or a yoga block, all of those will do. Alternatively, you can just sit on your hands here. I'm going to put the ball right here at my sacrum, because we're just going to lift our legs up, and it just sort of, it helps support you to have something to do. But you can do this with your hands on the mat, no problem. Press the palms into the mat, press the shoulders into the mat. Forgot, option here, if you want, you can use a resistance band. I'm going to put it around my ankles, I think. All right, so lower those legs down just to challenge yourself a little bit. We're going to open and cross, open and cross. It's a little scissor action. I need to move this to my upper thigh. There we go. Open and cross, open and cross. So you're squeezing the legs in, you're pushing the legs out. This feels just as effective without the resistance band. I did like 50 of these the other day. It really works your inner thigh when you're not using the resistance band. It works more your outer thighs when you are using it in your hip flexor area. So it's kind of like just a different exercise. But I did like 50 sets of these without the band, and I felt it the next day. So you will feel it. I like to just have my feet kind of relaxed, not pointed, not flex. I use sort of a demi point here. So the legs are engaged, but they're not going to cramp up. Because if you point too hard or flex too hard, you might find that your legs cramp. So we're just scissor kicking, pulling the belly button in. We still don't want the back to arch. So if you've elevated on a block, a pillow, or a ball, that's cool. If you're on your hands, the legs can be straight up in the air. You can go down, and it's going to challenge your abs the more you lower them down. Oh, let's just do a few more of these. 3 and 2 and 1. I tell you, with the band, you still feel on your inner thighs. Go ahead and take that off if you had the band. Lift off the ball and release yourself down. Press your palms to the mat, just tilt up for a moment, pressing the hips up. Take a deep breath into the abs and release. All right, lower back down. I'm actually going to put this back around my thighs. Again, you can do without. All right, so we're going to do some glute work, some hip work, and we're going to throw in some arm work for good measure, because why not? Okay, so thighs are hip distance apart. This is another one. You work different muscles if you put a ball or something inside and squeeze, or if you have the band on and you have to press out. Either way, you're doing extra work. Knees are hip distance, thighs are hip distance, feet are hip distance. We're gonna take a weight. I'm gonna take my nice big 10-pound weight and put it on my pelvis, just somewhere where it's not too uncomfortable. Make sure you hold on to it so it doesn't move. And we're gonna lift all the way up and lower all the way down. So the full range of motion. Lifting up, squeezing the glutes at the top, and lower back down. You can probably do this with more than 10 pounds. Sometimes I actually put 2 10-pound weights. It's a little bit just sort of like cumbersome to navigate 2 10-pound weights, but you can totally do it. Or if you had a bigger, a 15-pound hand weight or something, you could do that. Your glutes can handle it. They're really big, strong muscles. So you might find that you want to have heavier weight to actually build some like, what am I trying to say? Build the muscles there. I don't know. My words have left me on Friday afternoon. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, lift up all the way up, and now we're going to do our small pulses. So we oftentimes just do this, these little pulses. So it's a little drop and then lifting all the way up and squeeze at the top. Squeeze and squeeze. So you should really start to feel this now, whether or not you're using weights. I start to feel it in my thighs. I start to feel it in my glutes. This is one of those ones, because your muscles there are so big. These gluteal muscles are some of your strongest muscles in your body. Your tongue is actually your strongest muscle for its size. But in terms of ability to do work, it's your glutes. So you need to kind of burn them out. So doing like 5 or 10 of these isn't going to do very much. We need to do quite a lot. It gets a little bit boring, I'm afraid, but you know, that's okay. So what's yoga like about this? You can just pump and breathe and zen out for a moment. All right, now rise up and let's come up on the balls of our feet and squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. Lift up, squeeze. So now flexing the toes this way, we're stretching out the foot, and we're adding some work into the calves. And you'll notice it also just sort of shifts what's happening in the rest of your glutes. So just a few more of these. I hope you're feeling this in your glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the heels. Keep the weight there. I'm going to kind of just drop it between my legs so it stays. And I'm going to actually grab, you can do 2 things. I'm going to take you can take the 5 pounds and put 1 in each hand. I want to do 10 on each side. So I'm going to take 1 10-pound weight and 1 5-pound weight. All right, so you decide what works for you. And we're going to press up like a chest press. Once you press up, twist and come back and lower back down. So we're staying lifted here. The bottom half of our body is lifted, squeezing those glutes up. Maybe you've got a weight in there, maybe you haven't. And then we're doing our chest press. And again, your pectorals are a stronger muscle group. So that's why probably at least 5 you're going to want to use. But you can go bigger if you want to go 8 or 10 pounds. I probably shouldn't have been counting these. Let's do 5 more. 5. We're not trying to do millions of these. 4. 3. Make sure you're still lifting the glutes. 2. Last 1. And lower those down. Lower everything down. Take that weight out that has been delicately between my legs. And now for real, you can take off that band. Mosquito has infiltrated my apartment. I keep getting mosquito bites in my apartment, which makes no sense because I am up high and I have screens on my windows. Anyway, problems of the tropics. Okay, take 1 5-pound weight. We're going to do some abdominal work. And we're going to release those hips that have probably been working. So crossing your ankle, I've got my right leg across my left thigh. Right hand across the chest, bringing that weight kind of to your shoulder area. and then left hand behind your head, and we're gonna lift and cross. So it's like you're trying to bring the shoulder to that knee. Don't pull and try to touch your elbow to your knee. It's not gonna get there anyway. Stay nice and lifted, nice and open through the chest. Exhale to crunch up. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. I'm going to keep this leg the same, but I'm going to switch sides with the weight. So left hand holds the weight by the right shoulder, right hand behind the head. And now we are bringing the elbow towards the knee. Maybe you touch it, but I want you to keep the hip open. So keep that knee pushing away. Don't try to bring the knee to the elbow. It doesn't matter if they touch. That proves absolutely nothing. Let's do 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Now we're going to switch legs. You can keep the hands where they are. Left ankle across the right thigh, right hand behind the head, and cross the body. Keep pushing that knee away. Keep that shoulder and elbow and arm nice and open. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Switching hands, so right hand by the left shoulder, left hand behind the head, push that knee away, don't try to bring it to the elbow, and crunch up for 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Great. Bring the soles of your feet together. Open up those legs. So lovely Baddha Konasana here, supine butterfly with the knees open, and just bring your one hand to the chest. It doesn't really matter which to hold the weight if you're using the weight. Otherwise, both hands can be behind your head, and we're just going to crunch straight up. So again, with any time we do these, you don't want to be tugging on your neck. My hand is just there to take the weight of my head. It's not pulling on it. Chin is still towards chest. Eyes are still here in front of you, not straight up at the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, last one. Release that down. One more abdominal exercise for you. Take your tiniest weight if you're using a weight, 1, 2, or 3 pounds. We're going to bring the weight to, we're going to bring arm to leg. I don't know what this is called, but I found it very effective on my abs. So you're going to lift arm and leg. See if you can tap, and you can bring the hand behind the head if it feels good behind the head still. 3, 4, good. So lifting the leg, not kicking it so much. Active. Don't want to strain the low back, so keep the belly button pulled in. 3, and the arm is just going to shoulder height. 2, last one. Good. Lower that down. Switch hands. So that arm is straight up from the shoulder, not reaching back overhead. Right hand behind your head. Inhale. Exhale to lift. I like this because it works those hamstrings. Get some flexibility work going in there. Great for the abs, of course. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Releasing that down. Press yourself up to sit. What's going on with my mat in here? Sprinkling up under me. Okay, we're going to do some Pilates style leg kicks, which are usually done without any resistance band. So you can do them without the resistance band, but because it's Yogatōn, I'm going to give you the option of adding a resistance band. All right. So come down on your side. So whatever you're doing, pick a side, doesn't matter which. I'm going to be on my right side lifting my left leg. First thing we always do with the Pilates leg kick series is line yourself up along the back edge of your mat. So you've got all this real estate in front of you, and you're lined up against the back. And then bring your feet to the front edge of the mat. Make sure this weight is not going to be a problem for me. Don't really want to kick it. All right, rotate your feet so your heels are together, your toes are apart, and we're going to lift the top leg and lower. So again, you can totally do this without the resistance band. Classically, that's how it's done. Lifting up, Either way, we're not kicking though. It's a lift and a squeeze down. So you're imagining you've got resistance squeezing it down. 4, 3, 2, last one. Hover it above the heel and we're going to make circles. So they're tiny circles. The whole leg is moving from the hip, but it's not a big giant circle. 3, 2, and 1. Reverse direction. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go back and right back to the foot. Push it back and bring it forward. So we're not swinging forward. Typically in Pilates you would actually bring this all the way back forward, but with the band I find that to be a bit more challenging, and I actually kind of, challenging like not in a good way, and I actually kind of like making a stop here rather than using that momentum to swing forward. 3, 2, the last one. That's it. We're going to go right to the other side. You can roll over if you can still see me, or do like I'm doing, switching to the other side, lining yourself all along the back edge of the mat, and then shifting the feet to the front of the mat. And heels in, toes out, hovering above that bottom heel, and lift up for 10. It's funny because I never really liked the leg kick series in Pilates, but part of it was because it just didn't feel like it was super effective. Like I felt very Jane Fonda, like doing millions of leg lifts. And I was like, do these actually work? I mean, I'm not saying they don't work, but I was saying when you're working these such big muscles, doing like 8 or 10 leg lifts of like, what are you really achieving? But you add that resistance in, and then they become really effective. Last one. Hover heel over heel, and we're going to circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swing back, back to the heel. Push back and forward. Push back and forward. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. The last one. Excellent. If you've got the band on, go ahead and leave it on. Might use it in a moment. And come on over to your forearm plank. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg plank. Palms on the mat, forearms on the mat. Curl those toes under. Push yourself up to your plank. And just hold and breathe. And we're going to do little leg lifts here. So we're just going to lift, lift, lift. Little movement. This is equally effective with or without the band. The band doesn't add a whole lot, just a little bit of resistance there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. Belly in, glutes contracted. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release down, push back. Give yourself a quick stretch in your child's pose. All right, we're going to come to standing. You can leave this on if you're using it. If you're not using it, that's fine. And I'm going to grab my 5-pound weights. So you could grab 5, you can maybe do 3. 2 feels a little bit too light for this, but you decide. Okay. So again, the band is not super vital here, but it adds a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. We're going to do our chair squats, and we're going to do some arm work with them. So the first 10, we're going to start here, and as we squat down, we're going to bring our arms up, our hands up to our shoulders, and then push back up. For 10, 9, 8, pushing the hips back, 7, knees over ankles, 6, 5, chest lifted, 4, 3, 2, last one, come down, push the arms back, tricep kickbacks for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then pulse up for 5, palms are still turned in, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then squeeze together for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing back up, this time starting with the hands up. As we go down, we bring the arms down. Stand up and down for 9. Up and 8. Up and 7. Pushing those arms back, pushing the hips back, knees over ankles for 4, 3, 2, last one, and come back down. Tricep kickbacks for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze together for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come to standing. If you're using weights, grab a lighter weight. This is 2, you could use 2 or 3. If you've got the band, you can keep it on. If you haven't, you're still good to go. So feet like hips distance, sitting back, pushing the hips back. We're gonna step open, arm and leg, back to center. Arm and leg. So we stay nice and low as we step side to side. Try not to stand up in the middle, and then making sure you're nicely deeply squatted when you get to the outside. So if that means you need to squat down a little bit when you get there, that's okay. Anyone know what number we're on? Doesn't really matter, right? Do them until you're tired. Let's call this 3 and 2. Last one. Back to center, standing up. Separating the legs a little bit more. If it's too much, if you've got a tighter band on, you probably have to take the band off. This is a light resistance one, so I can leave it on, but you decide. Step the legs a little bit wider. Squat down. So basically you want like a boxer stand. So they could be more narrow. Boxers really stand, you know, 1 foot in front of the other, but we're not actually boxing anyone. So I just like a little bit of a wide, stable stance. Shoulders down, arms up in like a boxer's guard. And we're gonna come across and across. And I want you to use your whole body, because I don't want this to just be your shoulders. I want you to get your abs into the mix here. So if you really twist and bring it across, we're not actually fighting anyone. We're yogis and yoginis. So we don't want to fight anyone. We don't actually want to punch anyone. It's just a punching movement. What we want to do is twist and stretch. So we're really getting the abs into the action, the chest, the shoulders, the arms, and if you stay seated nice and low, you're working your glutes and your quads. I like doing this one with music because I can kind of dance. So depending on what track is playing, if you're listening to music, I have a playlist for the Yogatōn class on Spotify. It's a little bit more upbeat music in no particular order. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Coming to standing. One more we've been doing, I feel like a lot recently. Turning the toes out. I think I need to get the band off this one. I don't think it's going to work with the band. If you're using the band, you can take it off. Turn the toes out wide, legs wide, arms up. Light-ish weights, maybe 5 pounds if you want. And go ahead and squat down. So we're in a goddess pose, right? So arms are up, a shoulder height, goalpost style. Pushing our hips back. We're going to dip down. I'm going to lower my arm this time today as I come back up. If you're using a heavier weight, this might be too much lowering the arm down. So in that case, you can just tilt like we've done before, keeping the arm lifted. So it's your option. You can let the arm drop down, or you can just leave the arms by your hands by your ears. Good job. 2 more each side. Last one. And press up. Excellent. For our last couple ones, I would suggest grabbing your more medium weights. Your 5 pounds are great. Keeping those toes pointed out, heels pointed in. We're going to do some tricep work. So as we bend down, we bring the arms up. Squeeze the glutes. Tricep curls and up. Tricep curl. Good. Just going to do 10 of these. Running out of time, so I just want to squeeze a few more arm workouts while we keep working the glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, coming back to that goal post. Probably should squeeze up there. And now we're gonna chest press. Good. And 2, 3, pectoral work here. Now don't forget about what's going on in the bottom half of your body. Very easy to start cheating a bit, not go very deep, and be tracking forward over your toes, which does not work your glutes. 3, 2, last one. Changing arms, we're going to row up for 10. So keep pushing the hips back, keep pressing the knees open. Keep breathing. And 3, 2, last one. Last, balance. Going to stand on one foot. Bring the opposite arm to your rib cage. And then we're going to just tricep curl as we stand still. 10, 9, 8, 7. Sometimes these balance ones are particularly hard because we're moving with that extra weight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands to heart center without pressing against your chest, so you're still working. And I just want you to flick the foot out like a little kick. 9, 8, 7. Definitely challenges your balance. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Place that foot down, switching sides. Static bicep with the same leg that's lifted. Tricep curls with the other arm. 10, 9. Focusing on your balance. Find a point to focus on. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring the hands down to heart center. Ooh, don't fall over like me. And kick and flick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully place the weights down and then go ahead and hang over for a moment there. Let go of the back, shake it out. Rolling up your spine, bring your feet together, take an inhale up. Bend over to one side, inhale up, bend over to the other side. Inhale up, roll the shoulders forwards a few times, release them, and backwards a few times. And shake it out. Take one more deep inhale up. Grow nice and tall, press the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And just take a moment here, rooted in the earth, feet on the mat, glutes contracted, abs contracted, shoulders down, chin towards chest, standing tall and proud. And take that strength and energy with you through the rest of the day, your weekend, and forward. Namaste.